Hi.
Welcome back!
On Monday night, we stayed at a truck stop on the outskirts of Las Vegas.
We had several friends in the area who offered us places to boondock in front of their buildings, but ultimately Ryan suggested that we try and get to the eastern side of Vegas so that we didn't have to deal with rush hour traffic in the morning. Actually, a really good idea.
Thank you.
And it wasn't bad. It was nice and safe, actually. We had 2 security guards on Segways roaming around all night.
Very, very helpful security guards.
Nice guys.
One thing that wasn't great was so semis will leave their engines on all night long, and those are kind of loud, so that's disturbing. And plus, if a semi decides it wants to back up into a spot right next to you, and it's a really tight spot, they have their like beep beep backup noise. So if it's like a small spot and it takes the truck maybe like 7 or 12 tries to fit in there in reverse.
I think Ryan woke up more than I did, though, because I didn't notice any of that.
I was awake. It was a tight spot. So in the morning, we just woke up, went into the truck stop, grabbed some coffee, and we were on our way, headed toward Colorado, Grand Junction. Here we come.
So we snuck through the tip of Arizona and then spent all day throughout the Utah mountains on I-70.
A lot of hills, a lot of mountains, going up and down and stuff. We're not used to Gypsy. She's a 36-foot RV, so, she doesn't... Some of the hills were kind of tough for her. Whatever.
I don't know. Utah, Arizona, port of entry, 1 mile.
That site. Why didn't we have to stop and pay a toll?
I don't know.
Also, Utah was absolutely beautiful. Some really cool terrain. I think that was Mesa we went through.
Was it Mesa?
I think it was Mesa. I think it wasn't Piedmont or Prairie. It might have been Ponderosa. It wasn't Plains.
He doesn't actually know what he's talking about, but he wants to sound smart.
Well, there's a lot of different environments across the United States.
So through the mountains in Utah.
Big mountains, like really big mountains. Big, beautiful mountains. Just cool looking scenery.
Long.
Different colors.
Like really long.
Very long. Steep grade. Low gear type of thing. But luckily, Telly called ahead to a KOA in Grand Junction, Colorado, made a reservation, and we were just like, all right, let's push through. Let's get there. And we got a spot.
And I made the reservation so that I could wake up on Wednesday.
Her birthday.
My birthday.
Her birthday.
In a beautiful place with electricity and water and sewer.
Full hookups.
Yeah.
The whole shebang. Swimming pool, fire pit.
We also put the wrong gas in.
Oh, that was that day?
That was the same day.
If your vehicle was made before ethanol came out, don't put ethanol in your vehicle.
And we had gotten gas that we thought was
Just
the
like
right type of gas, but apparently it also contained
ethanol. Like 15%.
Which is bad for vehicles Gypsy's age.
That kind of hurt us in our horsepower. We couldn't really get it over 40 or 50. It would sputter a little bit. But we just were like, okay, we'll just ride this out and dilute it. Next time we fill up, we'll put regular gas in, and it won't be an issue. On top of that, we lost power again. About 35 miles from Grand Junction, our KOA. We pulled off to the side of the road, just west of the Colorado border. We were past Moab, but not really in a place where you could call it a town.
We were 10 miles from the Colorado border, and we had limited cell service.
But it was okay because we were in a safe place, just off an exit, so we could pull over to the side and be out of, traffic's way. We got to see an amazing sunset. Plus, it was the first time in a very long time I was able to look up at the sky and see a ton of stars. Like a ton of them. It was awesome. Except for the breaking down part.
Yeah.
So we tried jumping Gypsy several times with a battery charger to, like one of those things you carry around that, like, the tow truck guys carry them. That didn't work. It went a little ways. Then all of a sudden, Telly remembered, wait a second, the batteries charge when they're hooked up to shore power, which can only happen if you're plugged in or if you're hooked up to a Jenny. And we realized, or she realized, we have a Jenny on the back of the RV. This was like that part in the movie where it's like, wait a minute, do you remember what we did in Amigos, Amigos, Amigos? Gee, you think it could work? We turned the generator on, hooked it up, and it worked.
It was late. We realized we probably shouldn't get back on the road even to get to Grand Junction because it was so dark, and if we had more battery problems, that would put us in a really bad situation. So we stayed there. Okay, confession here. I was terrified. A quick mental health PSA. I have generalized anxiety disorder, and as an adult, I keep it in check pretty well. But this experience over the past couple of days with the battery has just been completely awful. And I wound up having a panic attack. And I'm trying really, really hard to get back to normal, but I'm definitely not there yet.
And the sooner she's more relaxed, the better off we're all going to be. Because she deserves to be happy, especially on her birthday.
Anyway, back to the story.
The next morning, after charging the battery again off the generator for about 40 minutes, the engine started. We took it slow and finally limped into the KOA in Grand Junction.
I had also asked the night before if we could postpone our arrival day.
So we didn't have a fine for
Yeah.
ditching our reservation. They just moved it over. It was
Yeah.
very nice of them.
That
Very
was
convenient.
fantastic, and they were hugely helpful.
Very helpful.
Thank you, Grand Junction KOA.
Yeah. And luckily, there was an on-site
Mobile mechanic
guy, Lawrence, who not only lived at the KOA, but also does like general RV repair for all the nearby RV parks and the KOA.
Well, and it wasn't the battery or the alternator, which we thought it was.
Yeah. It was the battery disconnect bypass, which I think is good because if it was a new battery, it would have cost more. And if it was an alternator, that would have cost more. And also the labor would be more intensive for the alternator. So this is like kind of the best case scenario, especially because he was able to diagnose it. That was what we really paid for. So we stayed an extra day, and our friend Lawrence helped us out and replaced it. And, so we can get back on the road in the morning.
My anxiety is still pretty high, but it's starting to dissipate.
So while we're in Grand Junction, we're talking with other people about the routes and stuff like that, and they told us about the Vale Pass, aka the Widowmaker.
It's just, the Rockies get really steep through there, and with our battery problems, I'm nervous about it. And Ryan's nervous about it. He's been driving this whole time because I haven't been feeling well.
Yeah, it's a lot, and with a 23-year-old RV that we really didn't do many preliminary tests on before taking it across the country, hindsight, whatever, we decided to try to take it easy.
So we are back on the road after having stayed in Grand Junction for a couple of days. We're heading to Rifle, Colorado to meet up with Ryan's aunt and uncle for breakfast. And we keep on passing over the Colorado River, which is beautiful.
And then we headed up to 13, where we ended up in Craig. This was a beautiful road. Route 13 was really pretty. A lot of rivers, or maybe just one.
The Colorado River, wasn't it?
Colorado River.
I think.
Yeah. A lot
Right?
of beautiful scenery, a lot of great water.
Ah,
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice mountains. We arrived in Craig right as a thunderstorm started to roll in. The lightning looked awesome in the mountains, though.
it was scary. I mean, it was cool but scary all at the same time.
I wasn't
Yeah.
scared. Was
Yeah.
I? Thanks. Stop it.
So fewer miles today, and I am all good with that.
Going forward, we're going to take it easier, too. No more of these, like, 400 or 350 mile days. More living, less driving in Gypsy. So we're going to do some shorter days. We're going to shorten it up. Enjoy ourselves a little bit more.
So we are just going to hang out here inside our bedroom in Gypsy with the animals, the dog and 2 cats, and get on the road in the morning.
Come here, buddy. I know, thunders. You don't like it. Come
No.
here. Hey, this is Pizza. Hey, Pizza, you're a good boy. I know, you don't like the thunderstorms.
So tomorrow we head to Wyoming.